First event 2010 and then winning in 2025. Those are different locations. How about longevity for Fanning? 2001 as a wild card. Most recent belt 2015. And that was in a tie break, that recent one with Adriano de Souza. It's just that precision timing, professional act. He was never one to worry about paddling around the corner up to south side or center side. He was always just like, okay, if you want to play that crazy positioning game, I'll let you make a move first and I'll answer back. And he was allowed to do that because of his unbelievable ability on the bowl, you know, in conditions like this. Rosie?
Yeah, this is going to be fun. We've spoken about the surfers we have on deck. I can't wait for them to be introed and just to see them rip, just to have a bit of a free surf and really tear into it. That's always nice. It's one of the perks when you're a champion. You get to go free surf bells when it's kind of pumping.
That's what it's all about. And now let's get ready for the introductions. We'll send it over to the stage with Von Blakey.
Welcome to Easter Friday here at the Rip Curl Pro, presented by Bonsoy. You guys are in for a massive treat. Rip Curl Pro might be on hold for a second, but we're just about to send out 8 bells into the lineup and one of the most electrifying free surfers of all time. It's the Rip Curl Icons Expression Session. A round of applause for Mick Fanning, Stephanie Gilmore and Mason Ho. Mace, let's start with you, mate. Bell's such a really important place in your family history. Your dad used to come down the coast with Michael Peterson to surf in this event. You've surfed in it yourself a few times. How good does it feel to put on that rashie and paddle back out?
Oh, it's like it gives me flashbacks because when I was a kid, I came here when I was 16 and won like a little junior pro, and it was the first time I ever got to travel and do a contest like internationally. So when I come down here, I always think like, whoa, this is where I almost kind of felt professional, like a pro surfer for my first time. So it felt cool just to feel it. And then I realized I got to go surf some heats with the real legends. So I feel really lucky.
Mate, that's all time. You guys have spent a lot of time in the water together on the Search most recently, but this is a new one. You're going to be surfing a heat against each other. How's that going to be different?
No, I think it's going to be really fun just because they are two of my favorite surfers, and also there's not like a $30,000 prize purse, so we don't have to battle each other. Because if there was probably $20,000 or something, maybe we'd kind of have battle or something. I don't know, but it's been super fun, and I can't wait to go surf with them in Expression Session.
And just finally, mate, this Victorian crowd, you know, they welcome you guys down here. The Ho family always have done. And how's the reception been this year?
Oh, this year it's been extra special, like always, but it just seems like everyone is just like reconnecting with surfing. You know, it just seems like every year it's like another reconnection down here at Bell's because it's got so much roots. So just to come and see it firsthand. I'm from Hawaii, so sometimes I miss it, but every year I do come, I remember the history, and it kind of hits me pretty hard, and I'm super happy to be here with everybody.
Round of applause for Mason Ho, everybody. What a champ. Righto, from shredding it on stage with Spiderbait last night to shredding it out in the bowl with Mick and Mace. Steph, how's your bells going? Jeez, it's hot down here today.
It's so hot. I'm ready to wrap this interview up real quick. Yeah, it's been an amazing time. Great few days, and yeah, just nice to be back with the Rip Curl crew, and yeah, hopefully get some fun waves out there right now.
You're the most winningest bells winner in women's history, and Mick is the most winningest bells winner in men's history. 4 apiece. This is big. Someone's going to walk away from this with bragging rights.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on a twin fin, so this is my way of getting out of getting completely murdered by these two. So.
And just finally, what's it like to be back in front of this, you know, surf-stoked Victorian crowd?
Yeah, it's great. You guys are awesome, and thanks for coming down, and yeah, enjoy the show. I think it's going to be a great event.
Well done, Steph. So stoked to see you back in the bowl. Mick Fanning, wow, the memories you've given us at this place, mate. Do we expect to see another one right now?
Oh, I don't want that pressure, but yeah, look, it's been incredible at my years coming down here. First year in '97, so you know, a couple more years, it'd be 30 years of coming down. But yeah, what a special place it is. There's so much history, so much incredible stories, so much folklore here, and yeah, I'm just honoured to be a part of it.
And mate, tell us a little bit about being able to surf with these guys over the past year, especially on the Search together. It must be pretty special to share these lineups all over the world, exotic places with two of your best mates.
Yeah, it's incredible. Mason's just so in his own world doing things that we never dream of, and it gets me inspired to change up my life. And then Steph, she's just incredible. Watched her since she was a little kid, and but I'm a bit nervous because last time we actually had a heated snapper, she smoked all of us, and hopefully I can stand up.
And mate, we know how much these people love you, the Victorian surf fans. We see your name emblazoned on fences all over Torquay and Jack. What's it mean for you to paddle back out in front of this crowd again?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I've always had so much... Bell's always felt like, even though Snapper is my home, this always felt like my home event, and the people down here are always so supportive, and to come through the town and see banners and stuff with my name on it, it's pretty special, and now I get to show my kids that, and it's pretty funny walking down. He's like, my son's sitting there going, "Dad, do you have to sign so many autographs?" Like, it's pretty funny, so it's pretty cool to be able to show the family that now.
And I think a lot of people in this crowd will be feeling the same way about being able to share a moment watching you three in the bowl with their kids. So thank you so much from all of us here. We're really stoked that you're down here. Have a great session, and thanks for coming.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting us go surf.
Please give one more big cheer for these guys. Mick Fanning, Steph Gilmore and Mason Ho. Back to you guys.
Well done, Von Blakey, as we get so excited to see three legends having a moment there, taking a selfie with the crowd here. Day of the waiting period for the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach, presented by Bonsoy. Xander, Lily Fanning, Bree. So excited to see their pops hit the bowl. And just like the Queen would do it, nice little ride out to the lineup for Steph Gilmore off the Red Bull ski, as we're going to enjoy this performance from the icons of our sport and really specifically make it a huge mark on their legacy at the longest running event on the calendar. Steph Gilmore with 4 bells, Mick Fanning with 4 bells. Mick tied for the most on the men's side with the great Mark Richards and Kelly Slater. Steph with 4. The record is with Gail Cooper with 10. But you can tell how inspired Steph Gilmore has been in her career, being able to grow up with Mick Fanning at Snapper Rocks, having the same home break, being from the same town, and when the whole world was emotional knowing that Mick was taking bells as his swan song and calling it a day, I think Steph was more invigorated than ever to try to be on the podium with Mick. Steph ended up winning that 4th bell in that retirement party for Mick Fanning. As we remember, Mick almost went all the way, runner-up to Italo Ferreira. So many great memories. Mason Ho just joining the mix as one of the most exciting free surfers on the planet. He's going to make this one fun. Joe Trappell with Flick Palmatier and Richie Lovett. Who knows what Mason's going to do, Rich?
Anyone's guess, mate. Anyone's guess. He's just... he's like a unicorn, this guy, man. It's lucky we're even seeing him now. We never know what he's going to do, but that's the beauty of Mason. He keeps surfing just so entertaining. He always looks like he's just having the best time when he's in the ocean. He rides all sorts of different equipment, and kind of interesting to see him on somewhat of a functional shortboard setup out here. So I think he means business.
I just love his personality. We all do. Keeping the fun in surfing, that's for sure. And Fanning seeing a lot of great friends returning to bells here, which includes the entire Water Patrol team that have been right there with him in the middle of the biggest moments of his career. Coming here in the late 90s, had his first moment as a wild card victory in 2001. That was the heat with Danny Wills back in the day, where Mick said he learned a lot. He went to go shake his hero's hand. Danny was like, brushed him, and he's like, oh my God, I'm gonna remember that. Maybe I'll use that for the next generation later. And I think he gave it back a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. Mick became one of the most revered, fierce competitors on the world tour, and there was a generation of surfers that were inspired by how Mick approached his competitive career. The training, the dedication to it, the commitment. Everyone else followed.
I just can't wait to see these icons go for it. I mean, it's just iconic that Steph's going, you know, out there on a chariot, the jet ski. Dropped off out the back. Mick also. I mean, Mason, it looked like he was floating around on the inside there. I like positioning right now. I'm just like, what's Mason going to do? Is he going to do a chop off over that inside rock? Like, some interesting things going on. He's on his chariot as well. Mason's making his way out the back.
It's the funnest just to figure out what Mason's up to. Even before this icon seat started, we're getting all these messages. We can't find Mason. We can't find Mason. And he just has this little cheeky smile on his face, kind of pops up in the middle of the crowd. And everyone's like, no, he's right here, he's right here. It's like, he's a really intelligent human, you know? And I think sometimes he's just having a little fun with everybody. He's been here the whole time. He wouldn't miss this for the world. There he goes, paddling right next to Steph as they count in this specialty icon seat here on the bowl. Remember, Mason did get a start out here as a wild card. He did that frontside punt in a heat with Mick Fanning. And he got the win in that opening round heat.
Good memory, Jack.
Flat White's working down here. Here we go, Rich. What are we going to see here? Steph Gilmore.
Wow, Steph up and riding on the twin fin. And there's that classic style that we know and love from Steph. Up and into the lip of that one. Beautiful gliding turn. And you can see she had to nurse it just a little bit through that final cutback. Through the bowl section, just a little bit of rail work, milking it all the way through. Just so beautiful and so much flow the way she surfs. Goes for the little layback hammer on the inside, but here we go, here's Mace.
Flick, what are we going to see here?
Oh, just already, ooh, karate chop to the head from the lip.
Ouch. So Mace just having fun, getting his feet wet a little bit there. You just never know when he's going to zig or zag or do an ollie over somebody in the water. He surfs waves that aren't necessarily surf spots back home on Oahu. Some people just follow him around and he's got to be like, hey, this isn't a real spot. There's dry reef everywhere.
Don't surf here.
And here's Mick Fanning, Flick.
Wow, I mean, it's just brings back so many memories watching him surf right now over the years. Just so good here in the bowl. Got such a good read on this wave. Silky smooth surfing. So interesting. As soon as I see him stand up, I go to the surfers on tour now currently that have emulated his style a lot. You know, I see a bit of Ethan, I see a little bit shining bits of Crosby every now and then. It's amazing how much influence his surfing's had on, you know, generations.
I mean, and for you, Richie, being on tour and having some experience on tour before Mick Fanning popped up in those early days. I mean, you guys saw him coming miles away. Before we get there, here's Mace throwing the fins towards the beach. He's having some fun. But what was that like, you know, being from Oz, knowing there's this kid named Mick Fanning coming up fast?
Yeah, it was pretty intimidating, to be honest with you, because, you know, I was on tour with Jake and Nathan Webster and all these guys, and we kind of came on as our own little gang, and we kind of felt like we owned the tour, and we kind of kicked, you know, Damien and Bart, and we kicked those guys off. And then all of a sudden there was these coolie kids that came on, and Joel and Dingo and Mick, they came in, and all of a sudden they just did not care. You know, we'd try and bully them in a heat, and they just like stood up when, no, we're actually going to bully you. So they came on super strong. It was really intimidating. They were all surfing so good. But Mick had this kind of white lightning thing going on. He was so quick, so fast, and he made his mark on the tour really quickly. So it was intimidating, and they made their mark quickly. But I'm stoked that I kind of got that transition and being able to surf a bunch of heats with Mick and Joel and all those guys that came on. It was a real special time.
Special memories unfolding here in the Icon Specialty Heat with Mick, Steph, Mason, and now Kaipo Guerrero in the water on opening day. How you doing, Kipes?
I'm doing great, Joe. I'm out here for this iconic heat. Finally got out in the water, and I couldn't come out here at a better time. And when you talk about 8 bells, probably the most interesting surfer in the world in the way of Mason Ho. So this is a show right now, and I get to have front row seats right here.
Well, Kaipo, you've had a front row seat to all these guys, but let's start, back home with yourself and Mason. When he was little, did it always look like he was going this way as being maybe one of the most creative artists on the water?
We have a Hawaiian word called kolohe. It means rascal. And Mason, I have to put him into the rascal category. By the way, we got Mick surfing, but just another thing to touch on with Mason. Actually, I heard something big.
Yeah, that was a reverse. Yeah, back to you though, Kipes.
Cool. I got a hairdo report also. Mason Ho sporting a proper North Shore mullet.
Can you break that down? What does that mean? What does it mean, the North Shore version?
Well, I feel like it's a little like, it's not as pronounced as the Australian mullet, but it is a slight mullet, but you also have a lot more hair involved with the North Shore mullet. So a little bit of it, but overall, I'm just frothing out here. That was my froth. I'll do better next time.
You got to take in a little bit of the Southern Ocean, don't you, Kipes?
I love it. Hey, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I love it on the sea, and that's just between you guys and
Gosh, we love it. And also with Steph out there, she's on a twin fin. That opener just looked so graceful as always. There's no such thing as retirement.
There is no such thing. I mean, the goat's still the goat, right? And it's silky smooth. I think the twin fin is a good choice. She was second guessing herself when she was walking down, like, I don't know if I got the right board, but I think the 20's looking good.
Gosh, really free flowing. And then going to Mick, Kaipo, with all the memories here on the bowl, that emotional one with Italo, that kind of felt like a passing of the torch moment as well.
Yeah, I mean, hey, 4 bells. And interestingly enough, Mick, when we talk about boards, is on a DNA from Darren Hanley, and that DNA is the model that he surfed here at Bell's so well to all those victories. So back on the DNA here at Bell's, what a combination.
Stoked you're getting your gills wet, Kaipo. We'll check in with you in a moment here in the Icon Specialty Heat. I just saw Darren Hanley moments ago in the VIP area, and you think about the legacy of Darren Hanley surfboards really growing, and Darren's always quick to say Mick Fanning, being his biggest teacher, and Mick learning from Darren and vice versa, building just one of the best stables we've ever seen in pro surfing.
Definitely. I mean, obviously Steph as well, riding DHD, and I think, that's seen them to so many multiple world titles, and I feel like both Steph and Mick are, they're guys and girls who really get involved in the numbers, and they want to know, and they want to refine their craft, and I mean, it's cool to see all the shapers getting involved. We've obviously got the shaper rankings as well. I saw JS getting around this morning. So I think Britt's down here too. So everyone's around.
Oh, it's the best to talk shop. Darren said Ethan Ewing just broke Mick Fanning's record of boards in a single season. One year, Mick Fanning had 110 boards in the world title race from Darren Hanley. Last year, Ethan Ewing, 121.
You kidding?
He said it was a growing year for Ethan, so there's some volume increasing there, and he said Ethan's getting just as good as Mick Fanning with feedback. You know how important that is.
Yeah, Mick's psycho when it comes to board knowledge, equipment knowledge, fins, anything, you name it. Mick is so on it, and Kelly was another one who was just so tuned into his equipment, and as an athlete, I think it pays. I think it's an advantage to really understand your craft, being able to work with your shapers, and make those little refinements these are the tools of your trade. If you don't have the right tools, you can't compete properly. So, Mick feels totally confident, and did through his whole career, on what he's riding, and that's a huge thing. To feel confident on the boards that you're riding is a huge part of the puzzle. You don't want to be thinking about, is the board going to work? You just want to know that it's going to work.
Wow, just going straight always looks good for Steph. Now she'll fade on a twin fin. Just gets even more graceful as the years go on. And she benefited from Mick Fanning's insight with equipment and working with Darren Hanley. How's this contrast? 110 boards for Fanning that year. Then that year for Steph, when she went on that 8th world title run, it was really 3 boards. Remember the cash cow program? Just didn't need much. And just these boards were so effective, and she wasn't breaking them. And what a difference that is, going, hey, you've got an efficient athlete on tour that's winning events and doesn't really demand much from you in a world title race. That's Steph Gilmore.
It's crazy contrast, right? I just can't get over the 120. I mean, some people don't even get 120 in their lifetime, it's radical. But I mean,
they deserve it.
They do. Well, I mean, you're the best in the world.
Yeah, you got to try it all.
One every second day of the year. Try a new one. Why not?
You know what though? Some of those boards would not even touch the water. Like they would They would get them in a batch of 6 or 8 or whatever, chuck them under the arm, feel the weight of it. And these guys are so tuned in. Like, they can actually feel if the board's going to go by just putting it under their arm and feeling the balance of it. And, it's pretty remarkable. Great that we can spit them out these days and have them all replicated so closely.
How's this? Mason throwing a little climb and starting to fade through the inside. One of the best free surfers ever, as we're going to be joined by Tommy Whitaker, super coach, longtime CT competitor with a ton of experience. Wits, how you enjoying this icon seat so far?
Oh, we're loving it, mate. We've got Griff down here and Jacko Bunch, and watching the goats go at it.
I mean, to see this live, how special is it for pro surfing history to have these characters still around and prepared to give us a show today?
Oh, on Good Friday too. The beach is packed down here. It's pretty cool for those spectators. They're super into it. I loved them. They just paddled out straight to the spot. They've obviously got their lineups from over the last, 15, 20 years. And I reckon even Mick played a bit of cat and mouse and dragged Mason in there and goes straight back to his spot out the lineup.
Tommy, as a competitor that got to be on tour with Mick, what are the things that you learned from Mick Fanning over the years as being a rival and obviously a good mate?
I mean, Mick sort of took the lead on that professional performance. So he dragged us all to be better and look at ways to look differently to be better outside of the water. But he always had a smile on his face and did it in the right way, which was awesome. I remember had a decent result here with Mick, and after we both got equal third, and after that he came and gave an Easter egg with a little bell under it. He goes, mate, a third at bells, you deserve a little bell. So we gave him one of them, which is pretty classic, something I'll always remember.
Oh, it's the balance, right, of doing the hard work and then enjoying where you are in the world. I see you passing that down to your crew these days as well. Tommy, also being able to coach Steph Gilmore, that experience for you in your coaching career and what'd you learn from that experience?
Yeah, that's special. Every time you mention it, look, I get goosebumps again. I mean, it was just a privilege to be on that journey with her and watch her achieve that 8th world title was really special. And the way she applied herself and again, did it Steph's way, didn't take any back steps and always stuck to her guns. And it's nice to see her traveling the world, catching some beautiful waves and, leaving her mark on it.
I mean, for Tommy, looking at Steph, I mean, she started off her career kind of without a coach all those years. It was kind of relatively new, hitting up Snake and then yourself, for her to enter a coaching pattern. Did that take some growing, or was it kind of an automatic kind of quick relationship you guys had?
I had a pretty quick one. Obviously Snake and I have come from the same sort of breed on tour as servers. We used to sort of mentor each other, I guess, or help each other, and I think that's how Steph started out her career. You'd lean on other competitors and friends around the area, and so I think it's just that sounding board. It started off like that, and now it's turned into the fun coaching positions that we have. And again, I'm still pinching myself. I get to stand on these bell stairs and coach some of the best in the world to rip as hard as they can and put on a show.
Thomas Geek, it's Rick Love. Let's change gears and just have a little chat about this morning's work for you. What was how'd that go? What were you saying to your surfers? What was challenging today, huh?
It was a little. I mean, we always know that bells is a little slow. It has its sort of lulls, so it was just picking apart the lulls and what waves are the sets. And we've got our little system up here on the stairs at Snake, and just saw a cool thing jump out the back actually. Big sets coming too, guys, so it's going to get entertaining.
There we go.
But this morning it was nice. It was clean for some of the ladies earlier to sort of rip in. It's been a really quick changeover from El Salvador, so battling the jet lag and getting some energy has sort of been the number one focus for our squad. But Crosby went out late and had a great heat, and Katie caught some fun waves, which was really nice to see her lay some tracks. And Betty Lou sort of showed us that one mistake in a set here can really put you in a bad rhythm, so she'll learn from that and bounce back.
Definitely. Tommy Whitaker, always a pleasure. Thanks for your time, my friend.
Look at this set, guys. Enjoy.
Awesome. Witsy bringing in the good energy. Southern Ocean lighting up. Some walls approaching the area. Remember, it's all up to them. If they want a party wave, that'd be fun. A couple little S-turns, crisscrosses down the line. They've done that before.
There used to be that event at this time of year every year, wasn't there? The doubles event, right? And you had your tag team surfer and you had to take off on the party wave together, right?
Yeah, totally. As we look at Mick Fanning, we're just talking about Jordy winning his first event 2010 and then winning in 2025. Those are different locations. How about longevity for Fanning? 2001 as a wild card. Most recent belt, 2015. And that was in a tie break, that recent one, with Adriano de Souza. It's just that precision timing, professional act. He was never one to worry about paddling around the corner up to south side or center side. He was always just like, okay, if you want to play that crazy positioning game, I'll let you make a move first and I'll answer back. And he was allowed to do that because of his unbelievable ability on the bowl.
Yeah, just incredible surfer. And I'm just looking at Mick now, and it's amazing. Like when you see a surfer retire and they're off tour for 5 years, 10 years, there's a pace that they lose to their surfing. They look visibly slower when you watch them. But Mick doesn't seem to have lost that pace. He's still going as fast as anyone, and this is getting to be pretty kind of slopey, full high tide, bells, which is hard to surf, hard to keep going fast, and Mick's doing it, man. He looks so loose and free, and just an incredible athlete.
One of the all-time greats, giving us a show, and Mick Fanning. You look at, Kelly, the GOAT, 11 world titles, 56 championship tour wins. You look at Tom Curran, 33 CT wins with his 3 world titles. You go to Tom Carroll, who had so many event wins around the world with 2 world titles. Mick Fanning, he's in that top 5 list of greatest ever when it comes to the tour. And Mason, happy to be a part of his family legacy in pro surfing. His uncle Derek, the first Hawaiian world champ in '93. That was in the Kelly era. As he blows the tail into reverse, giving us some memories of the one he did land in competition as a wild card a few years back. But I think, you look at Mason and Coco, McCoy, they're always so thankful of what their family did around the world because everyone loves them. They're like, hey, I met your dad, I met your uncle, like, hey, come this way, eat at this restaurant, this is where you sit. It's just the spirit of aloha just transitions through the entire family as Steph's having a blast on that 20 flick.
Oh, it looks so fun. She's making it look fun. You mentioned it before, Joe, but I think the favourite thing for me to watch is just Steph go straight. Her high line. It's just so beautiful to watch. I just love those iconic images that you've seen of her just drawing that beautiful high line on those twin fins that she just absolutely, she tears it apart on the 20. I mean, it's just stunning to watch.
And we don't break down the high line, too much more than just a stylistic moment that makes you feel good. However, when it's forced, it kind of looks sticky, or if it's portrayed or too much theater. When Steph does it, it looks real.
It's a fine line.
It looks meaningful, doesn't it? Rich, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's, you really can't manufacture this stuff. Style's one thing that you're kind of born with.
Yeah.
You've got to make the most of it.
Kaipo, you having fun?
I'm having super good fun. We were just talking to Mick and checking him out because he found the key. He had to step off on the last wave, just took off on this one. Take it away.
Mick Fanning now making a move, that classic competitive drive. Hunting and ends up just hopping out. No pressure here for Mick, but he does always want to put on a show, a total professional. He is so in tune to pro surfing. Even though he stepped away, he watches every event on tour. We can message him in the moment and he will respond with a reaction, his opinion on what's looking good or who could go on the way to win. I just love just tapping into his mind at each event on tour.
He was the first down here this morning.
He
was the first car in the car park. I met him down here and said hi, and just chatted, a little fin talk, and then he was the first one there.
Ugh, you can't break those habits, can you?
I texted him last night. I was like, "You gonna surf?" He goes, "Yeah, man, I'll be down there early." He texted me at like 5:15. He goes, "I'm here." I was like, "Yeah, we're not even down here yet."
Well, that was part of his routine back to 2012. This was an insane moment in Bell's history as we break open the WSL vault. Kelly in his prime. Remember, Kelly won his 11th world title 2011. He was right in the mix the following year. As Mick versus Kelly, a rivalry. Kelly said he went up to talk to Mick in the final. He ignored him and then did that. Perfect 10 on that big frontside punt in the flats that he was doing all year.
Oh, it was absolutely incredible. I was here, I watched this live, and I mean, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I mean, Kelly getting that big 10 with that massive air, and then still to lose to the absolute hero Mick. I mean, it's got to feel good. I mean, it just brings back so many memories. You just watch that vault footage, and I just love it, you know. That's like who I looked up to when I was a Grommy, and all those sort of memories. And I mean, he's looking just as good today. It's like, to your point, Rich, it's just he hasn't lost any of that speed, any of that flair. He looks just as good. It's like a rip on Arashi and goes, you know, I was surfing this opening round of the men.
Totally. I remember that final so clearly. I was standing on the bluff next to Neil Ridgway. And Kelly's the all-time favorite around the world. You know, he gets more people on the beach. It's the Kelly factor. It always happens, and for good reason. But that day, we knew who the crowd was going for. This Aussie crowd was backing Mick. And when Kelly did that full road, I remember Neil's like, that can't be an 8. And I'm like, I think it's a 10. And next thing you know, it was not only the score he needed, and then it came down to Mick answering back with just that classic Bell's rhythm and stole it off Kelly, even though Kelly did have that perfect number. And gosh, the rivalry they've had is unbelievable. It's gotten rough at times, you know, but it's really done some great things for the sport of surfing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I was on the sideline for a fair bit of it on tour, and it was entertaining for sure. Wasn't so good for the results, but
and for Steph, she was one of those superheroes that came on tour, and it didn't take her long to figure out any wave. We'd see her in the car park, and you're going, I don't even think she's checked the surf yet, and she would just grab Arashi and go win. 2007 was that rookie season where she not only created a record that still stands as the only rookie to win a world title, but also due to that Bells, then to also own this event just consecutively was just absolutely magic.
She's the goat. Steph one thing, and Tommy Witt spoke to it, but she just shows up and she is who she is, and she's never going to change that.
Michael Eugene Fanning just enjoying the bowl. Even single maneuvers just look so polished in this so-called retirement, but still surfs every day, going on trips, still actively in the shaping room with Darren Hanley. I think once he hears about Ethan getting 121 boards, he might get back in the mix. Try to get that record back. Mason enjoying a chat with Steph. Steph's one of her best friends is Coco Ho, Mason's sister. They were just spending maybe a month, some good weeks on the North Shore together. So Mason and Steph have been surfing a bunch in Hawaii as we send it to the water with Kaipo.
Now, they're actually going to go surfing right now. Hey, what's it like right now? What are you thinking? Because the wave is right here. She's going to get the second one. Mason's on the first one. There we go.
Right in the mix is Kaipo. And Mace creating some lines. Nice foam climb there. What a brilliant surfer. Big part of the Eddie Aikau event. Absolute charger. Goes switch stance on the bottom of like a 40-footer. Flick, you were right in the mix with that. That must have been insane.
Yeah, we're in the same heat, actually. And it was just funny, his mentality, you know, just yahooing and wow, just so stoked to be out there. Yeah, whether it's 2-foot or 20-foot, he's just, his approach is still the same. Fun. As we see Steph just gliding on through to that inside section there.
Steph enjoying her time, just taking a break from full-time competition the last 2 consecutive years now. She's kind of delaying putting on the jersey. She had a wild card for the start of the year and then told Jesse Miley Dyer, hang on, kind of enjoying this, give me some more time. And they're like, yep, of course, you know, take your time. And I just love that she's at an event like this to put on a show. Kaipo is with Mick Fanning.
I'm with the Mick Fanning, that's right. And you know what, there's a rare, I don't know if it's a heat or a celebration, but a mid-heat interview.
Yeah, look, I think it's more of we got to go surf, so we went surf.
Exactly. I like the step-off strategy. I would see more of those.
I'd love to. Bells and step-offs, really fun. Save you the paddling.
That's right. So let's call the Red Bull jet skis over here from Mick Fanning and get some more step-offs. dog, you need all the help you can get. No, work smarter, not harder, my man.
That's a good point. I might start using that one, Copper.
Any great memories from here? I mean, you got 4 bells.
Yeah, it's incredible. Just being out here with Steph and Mason, awesome, 2 icons. But then also just looking back at the crowd, like it's so cool. Like so many memories pop up. I used to warm up in the cave over there before my heats, and just coming down the stairs. Like I got to walk down with my family, which was really beautiful. And it's sort of a lot of big emotions come back, and it's one that will always stick with us.
Looks like your equipment, you're back on DNAs for bells. It's like a combination, unbeatable.
Yeah, this board pretty much, I've been riding it since 2012. And I've been playing around with different rockers, but I had to come back to the one that I know works at the bowl, so I didn't embarrass myself too much.
Love having you back, Mick. Enjoy yourself out here.
Love you, brother. Thanks.
So great to see Mick Fanning enjoying this time and bringing back just so many great memories of competing in front of this Victorian crowd. As he said in the lead up to Von Blakey, he's like, yeah, my home break snapper, but this always felt like his home event. You'd just drive through Torquay and Chanchuk, and people would just put out huge signs, just go Mick Fanning, all over this place. They're up again. They almost knew this thing was going to happen. I never get the memo. This is such a great surprise, a nice treat on opening day.
Oh, it caught me off guard too. I was like, holy, I'm supposed to be back in the booth. Here we go.
Here we go. Enjoying a break from the opening round. Barron, Joao, and Samuel Pupo preparing, watching the greats. The classic top turn wrap, which every grommet had to learn at some point.
A little top turn wrap, a little switch foot. Yeah.
Just body torque in motion, where he turned that lateral turn into so much power and rail work, where he demanded excellent scores with how much pressure he was putting on that rail.
Yeah, no, he really went from being this kind of spindly little lightweight, whippet, and he was just super fast. And then he obviously had the hamstring injury, came back, put on a bunch of bulk, bunch of muscle mass, and then he became one of the most powerful surfers in the world, And then he, like you said, to your point, his technique, the way he used that power was flawless. That big wrap, just so technical in his approach. And yeah, I mean, he's still super fit. You look at him now, he's like a racehorse, this guy.
Certainly is. He was one of those guys that could beat people before the heat started, just based on his professional prep work. He looked like the Terminator before a heat. Just his focus on the lineup, laser beams towards the water, put his headphones on, and he'd just silent all the noise and just take over every event on tour. Here's Mace.
Wow. In and out. But back to your point, Joe, I think already just knowing, Rich, you spoke to it too, he changed the game in terms of performance and preparation, right, outside of the water. And I think just having that confidence from that and knowing that he put in all this work, and you already rock up, that was a pivotal moment in surfing when things really started to change and there was more people paying more attention to that sort of thing, and Mick was at the forefront of that. And I just feel like rocking up to events knowing that you've done all this extra work, that you're at the forefront of that, you just kind of already yeah, I've got this. That's
you feel like you deserve it.
The confidence is there before you even hit the water. Yeah, exactly to your point, Joe.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've worked with Mick a lot, obviously, through the FCS connection, and his fin, his signature fin, is the most successful fin ever in history. 41 WCT events have been won on Mick's fin across the men's and women's tours. That's it, the stats.
Carissa Moore loves that fin.
Totally. And, that's, again, coming back to, we talk about the DNA and Hanley and the equipment. Mick worked on that so hard. There was no stone that wasn't unturned. It was every little inch of what he was doing was checked over, worked on, so that point where he put the jersey on, all he thought about was winning. That was it.
Total professional with his equipment, with his training, like you mentioned, was a response to a floater that went wrong. Maybe one of the most famous injuries in surfing, the comeback to becoming a world champion for Mick Fanning. Hamstring ripped off the bone and had to sit on the sidelines and just dedicated himself to a crazy fitness program, which became popular. Sort of the time was surfers maybe pretended that they didn't work out. And everyone did. But Mick Fanning just was like open about it, saying that I'm doing this, I'm working on, you know, underwater training, increasing his lung capacity in heavy water waves. And he just got stronger and stronger and stronger. And look at what we've got out
big
the back.
set. We got a good set coming now.
Whose turn is it?
Ladies first.
Let's go. Steph, 8-time world champ.
Mick knows, second wave of
I
the
don't know.
set.
I think they're both on the second wave.
They know too much. They know it all here on the bull. Everyone letting that first one go through.
Well, it's kind of true. It normally is the golden rule. Second wave of the set of bells, especially in an increasing swell. That first one just grooms the bells bowl. Here we go. Looks like Steph's going to have a little look.
Steph Gilmore connecting once again with a wave that's given her so much. Little bouncy one on the 20, but still smiling her way through. 2007 rookie season, world champ, bells victory as well, as she's flowing. And just throwing it all out. Are you kidding me? Wow, she almost picked that one back up.
Loosey-goosey on the twin. Oh, we got follow cam here maybe. Oof.
Maybe Mace.
Let's go.
Mason first section, nice and chunky. How's this? Rad. Follow cam down the line. Mason's used to this kind of coverage. Crossing it up with a Red Bull ski. Uses that to ollie.
Oh, made a little section for him too.
He actually appreciates stuff like that. And then the full roundhouse, making his dad proud. And then no way. Of course he did. He's pulling into short break at Waimea. He'll pull into short break at Bells, no problem.
Oh, that's the entertainment factor.
So good.
Oh, right. He trains. Of course he does. Yeah, it's a great mind space of Mason. It's like the Pied Piper. Everyone wants to be around him. His spirit's infectious. He's learned so much from his heroes, which are most of the members of his family. Michael Ho used to spend so much time with Michael Peterson. MP would put the judging criteria on the windshield of his car sitting at Bells and just go, yeah, this is what they're looking for, and he'd just study it, staring at this paper, and Michael Ho would be right there with him, like looking at the criteria, what's working. How's this?
Just ran out of water. He's going to have to get the shampoo and conditioner out after that one.
He is so good at acting like a starfish, isn't he? And it's important for the waves he surfs with no water to catch his falls. He knows how to lay flat, where he looked like he'd just be injured all the time with the waves he likes to surf. But gosh, he really knows how to wipe out without any water underneath him. So that was easy practice for him on the inside.
Definitely a bit of an art to it. I mean, far out. I mean, some of those waves that he surfs, just how shallow it is, the rocks that are there. I mean, I've seen him basically surf over dry reef and do it successfully and still have that board all in one piece. I mean, it's an amazing feat. I mean, he from 2 foot to 20 foot, that Waimea shore break too. I mean, he's tackled that thing head on.
He definitely has a spiritual connection with the ocean. Nothing ever seems like too overly planned, not just with the way he rides waves. A wave you might see someone might throw away, he'll turn into a keeper in a movie part. Because he sees things so differently, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's very unique the way he approaches the wave. That's why that's why he's so entertaining, because he keeps you guessing. He's not predictable in any way. Definite entertainer. I'm wondering whether we're going to see someone sneak over to Rincon pretty soon.
Yeah, it's
tide's starting to fill in.
Exciting times. Remember the main event on standby during this specialty heat. Steph Gilmore with so many great memories. She's had 2 10s here in her history. This is one of them, going back to 2012 Flick.
Oh my goodness, look at the water displays. I mean, so powerful and just silky. Such silky surfing. It's just classic Steph Gilmore. But look, also, she doesn't look that different today. I'm telling you right now, she's looking just as smooth, just as silky. Okay, yeah, she's on different equipment right now, but just, you know, just leaves
2026? 2026 maybe?
Well, I was just about to say, will we see?
Please.
Look, yes, please, but also,
please.
if you want to keep enjoying your life, go for it. You know, either way, we're going to see good stuff come from Steph, whether it be free surfing or comp surfing. I mean,
Please come back. Yeah, Steph got a 10 the following year, so that was 2012, the one we just watched. She got another 10. She had 2 10s in her career. That was 2013, but she actually lost that heat.
So both are bells.
Both are bells.
Both 10s. Wow.
Really
That's
demanding
special.
wave to get a 10 out here. I mean, how
Yeah, it's
perfect you have
hard.
to be from start to finish. It's a rare thing to see that perfect number.
Yeah, I can remember Curran got one where he got a big barrel through the inside. Joel, I think, got one in that heat against Mick. Yeah, Kelly's had one. I've seen a few.
That was one of my favorite finals. I think that was the 50th year celebration.
Yeah.
Joel and Mick in the final.
Yeah.
They both ended up finishing the final down by Winky Pop. They were like just rolling up on the beach. That was amazing. Mason is hanging out with Kaipo.
Yeah, Mace. How was the shore break?
Oh, it almost. I tried to get barreled, but it didn't really barrel for me.
What about the push-ups? How many did you get?
I got 4 in there. I just was trying to show that we're working hard over here.
You feel like you went faster with the mullet right now? Because I think he looks good, mate. I said mate, I should have said bra.
Nah, either one goes for us over here. But no, yeah, I'm psyching on the mullet, but I seen everyone's been ripping with them, so. And actually, I told my barber to give me the same haircut he always gives me. And after the thing was done, I was like, look, I'm like, bro, I've never had one like this before. But he was like, you're going to Australia, relax, everything's gonna be okay. Right.
I'm going to tell you something right now, Mace. I got a starter mullet going too right now. So I'm on the same program. My barber did the same thing with the sidewall.
The subtle mullet's smooth. And even the gnarly mullet's pretty smooth too.
How nice is it to be here with Rip Curl?
Oh, it's always an honor checking in with the Rip Curl family and just feeling the roots of the company over here, because over here you really feel it. And then it's been a blessing to surf with the 2 legends right here, Steph and Mick. It's at the iconic beach, Bell's Beach, you know. So I feel really lucky and blessed.
Well, thank you for being here. Mason Ho, the world's most entertaining surfer, and I've said that before. I'm saying it again. I'll keep on saying it.
Thank you.
We're right there with you, Kaipo. We love the entertainment. We love the update on the haircut. A little bit longer. That's actually called a Kentucky waterfall back home. And he's getting close. Still just a few more minutes of this icon specialty. Let's soak this up. Mick Fanning, when he announced his retirement, had so much emotion behind him. It was like this whole crowd was just willing for that perfect ending, you know, to that story in the final with Italo. But then when he lost, it still felt perfect. It was like, that was a moment where he saw how much it meant to Italo. And I think for Mick, he was like, okay, I do feel good about this.
Yeah.
Or say if he won, he's going, wait, am I still in for a title hunt? It's
true.
But it was almost the closure he needed. That he was like, hang on. Seeing Italo jump out of his skin, and that was the turning point. He was going, yeah, I'm ready to walk away.
Yeah, 100%. It was like a fairy tale moment for Italo, wasn't it? And it was Mick kind of waking up from his dream, you know, and it was a bit of a passing of the torch, and like, okay, that means so much to you. I've been there, I've done that for so many years. Now it's your turn. See you later.
He ended up coming back as a wild card later and joined Set Bells, and we were
so
able to
relevant,
celebrate it. Yeah, it's so great just to see him in this kind of form. He's going to be ripping for decades. Now a happy father, family man, son and daughter. Breeze up on the top of the bluff, and he's just going to stink bug his way over the chop. He wants another lift. He deserves it.
Oh!
What? Surfing his way onto the ski. Almost pulled that off. He got absolutely coned, and ex-Cyclone Alfred, which took the sand away from Snapper. As we see the little rebound for Mason. Emotional moment for Mick when he kicked out of a wave and saw a guy riding his brother's board on that session a few weeks back. So Mick still getting the best waves of his life.
I mean, that cyclone provided, didn't it, before it absolutely destroyed. But there were some amazing waves that were surfed. Incredible, incredible waves. Incredible waves by the women too. I saw Ellie Harrison, who's a wild card into this event on the women's side. She got a really good nugget there too.
Love that. Mick Fanning still the biggest fan of the sport. Crazy finals. We got to live that one with Kelly, Joel Parkinson. Early one with Danny Wills. The other one was the tie break with De Souza. When Mick went through that heavy moment at J Bay where he split the points with Julian Wilson, the final, Adriano was already at the airport in Port Elizabeth. Changed his flights, turned right around to go say hi to Mick Fanning and give him a big hug. They had a great relationship. They shared one of the finals here together. And a tie break, I mean, that's rare at the CT level. We saw that at the start of the season at Pipe, but it rarely happens. Those are actually the only two I can think of. Here's Steph wrapping up the heat for us. Little slide out on the 20. We'll find out what her plans are for the rest of the year and hopefully for 2026. I'm almost scared to ask her. Just maybe she'll take another year off. Love to see her come back and make another run for it. But gracing us with her presence today, the GOAT, 8-time world champ, breaking the record that she held with Lane Beachley. 33 event wins. That is #1 on the all-time win list for Steph Gilmore. And now Mason will get a ride into the beach as we'll stand by and prepare for Barron, Joao, and Samuel Pupo. Always fun to see Mace. He'll just chop up his way out of this heat. And let's get Mick Fanning a ride in.
I reckon Mick wants more. I reckon Mick wants more. I reckon he wants another 35 minutes.
Oh, for sure. He deserves it.
He's probably got that much pull down here. We can actually just say, hey, start the clock again.
Yeah, right after this, it's going to be the Stone and Wood expression session. Let's keep all these guys out in the water. We'll stay tuned to see who's going to be in that heat. Kite was with Steph.
How cool is that, Steph?
So cool. Mick and Mason are like two of my favourite surfers, so to share the lineup with them is super cool, and we've done a couple trips lately, so yeah, they're absolute legends.
Yeah, you're searching, aren't you?
Well, you know, life is a search, isn't it? For good waves.
So I just heard you're not getting out of the water, though.
Well, I think we might just stay in. I mean, there's no one else out here, so get bells to yourself.
Good idea. Thanks for joining us, Steph.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome, Kaipo. So great to see Stephanie Gilmore absolutely ripping on that twin fin. One of the greatest ever of the sport, especially here at Bells. 8-time world champ, having an absolute ball with Mick Fanning and also Mason Ho as the Icon seat has run out of time. We've got more to look forward to.